All right, Greg, we just got done with the Red Hook road trip, and you somehow managed to walk onto the field during the Texas A&M versus Auburn game with the Texas A&M coaching staff. Will you tell us how all of this happened? Start from the beginning.
Sure thing. We get to, we're done with our field day tailgating. We all go to the stadium, Jordan Hare Stadium. That's Jordan-Hare. And it's every man for himself, right? So there's 12 of us. There's no way we're all going to get 12 tickets. So, people are buying 2 here, 3 there, 1. And I was like, don't worry about me, Rob. I got it. I got a plan. Just wanted to see if this would work. Because I'm an action chaser. I want to get as close as I possibly can. Brought a couple things that helped me do this.
What were those things?
1, neutral colors.
All right.
So I didn't want to be associated with any one team. So I had gray, my gray shirt on and jeans, and that's basically it.
All right. What else?
And then I had from our friends at Holster Up a holster that's generally meant for a beer, but used it to hold my portable CB working radio.
Yes.
So then you look even more credible, right?
Yeah.
So I think that sells it a lot. But what has always sold it for me in the past is my DLR camera.
Yes. DSLR. Whatever.
DLSR. You have all those, and then you got some nice shades on, and you're looking busy. You're looking like you got a deadline. And so I got all my gear on, got my confidence, my swagger's up, and I'm ready to go. So now I just got to find a way to the stadium, path of least resistance, because you don't want to go in with everyone else, right? So
especially if you don't have a ticket.
Especially if you don't have a ticket. What are you going to do, jump the turnstiles? No, that never works. So we leave the Heisman house. Everyone's kind of going their own ways. And what do I see? I see this cute little chick on a golf cart.
Yeah.
And she wasn't like all the other golf carts that are like handicap, taking a bunch of people. This is just a regular, 4-seater golf cart, unmarked. But she looked like she had something to do with Auburn, and she looked like she wanted to give me a ride.
So you roll up to her. What do you say? How do you get her to stop?
I'm like, hey, well, she was stopped. There's traffic coming, foot traffic.
And where are you? You're right in front of the stadium?
We're pretty close, a block away from the stadium. You can see the front entrance. And so I'm like, hey, can you drop me off for the press get in? She's like, no problem, hop in. And hop in, she turns around. We go back into this, back cut.
She's no longer going to where she thought she was going.
Yeah. She was a little angry too, though. Not at me, at one of her coworkers who decided they partied a little too hard on Friday night, and she had to pull this like crazy shift, and I think she was on her way out. Like, she was like going to take this golf cart back, and she was like, I've had it. But she did one more good deed, which allowed me to gain access. Or so I thought.
So where did she drive you to then? So you said take me to where the press get in.
It wasn't a long drive. We drive probably quarter mile, like 2-minute drive, and we go through these gates, which is like, that's what's one step closer, And the only way you're getting through that gate basically is with a golf cart, which is the ultimate sneak-in tool.
So was this a guarded gate or just a random gate?
It was loosely guarded.
So you couldn't just walk through this gate?
No. I believe, if I remember correctly, they opened it a little bit for the golf cart to drive through.
So do you remember what this girl's name was?
We'll call her Mary.
They're just like, oh, what's up, Mary? She's just doing her thing.
Yeah, they don't even ask her one thing.
Because she's got a golf cart.
Yes. So Mary, she's like, all right, enjoy the game. You're done. And I was like, cool, see ya. And this was not where press get in, which could have been, which at the moment was good or a bad thing, right? I'm like, because we did try to submit press credentials, and those were unfortunately denied. So, but I had to get the footage, I had to get the content, and I was going to get it one way or another. So they dropped me off, and this is a place where they pick up programs. There's like this, little hut, and they got all the stadium employees picking up programs. So at first I thought, let me just grab a stack of programs, but that wasn't going to get me where I wanted to go, and but I really didn't see anywhere to like walk through. It's kind of like back of the stadium, and people were like grabbing their programs and heading out, like back the way we came.
So were you in the stadium? Do you believe, or you don't know?
Not really.
So you're not really in the stadium.
Basically, I was like underneath the bleacher, but like still on the outside, right? This is like this little gate, pretty big parking lot, and I've just got my blinders on. I'm like talking to this guy. I was like, "Hey, is there any way to get in to the stadium through here?" And they're like, "No, absolutely not." So I'm like, "Well, crap. I guess I'll just try to find something else." But I look over, far left of the parking lot. What do I see? The Texas A&M bus. I was like, I see, a nice group of security guards and police officers over there. So I was like, well, why don't I just walk over there? Walk right into the fire, right? And so as I'm walking up, it couldn't have been perfect timing because no eyes were on me. The Texas A&M team was coming off the field from their pregame warm-ups, and they were rowdy. That's when I knew, one, I have a real good shot of getting in, and two, Auburn's in trouble.
So how are you seeing the team off the field? So if you can see the team coming off the field on warm-ups, where is this in relation to that? Because you're still not in the stadium yet. So
yes and no. So you're like, I go through the end of the parking lot, go up these stairs, and now there's I go through like another gate. But it's all kind of on the outer rim of the stadium, and there's like a locker room door, and that's where they're filtering into, like underneath the bleachers. So I see all these, the whole entire team's coming off the field, like it's all from the first player to the last player. And these guys were rowdy; they were ready to go. And so I just, belly up with one of the big security guards that looked like the biggest security guard I've ever seen. What was his name? Had it written down.
Big Perm.
No, he looked like white version of Mark Henry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that type. They like no neck, just
biggest dude.
Yeah, and the Oakley glasses, and just looks like the best security guard. So I just like sit right next to them and just kind of just try to blend in, act like you're supposed to be there, and just start filming. I'm here to film, here to document, and. As all the players start, get into the locker room, I see all these coaches start congregating around, security and all these other Alabama State troopers, and I'm like, and they very quickly posseed up and start walking out, and I have to believe the only conclusion I could draw was these were like the offensive and defensive coordinators getting walked all the way up to like the far end. End zone press boxes, and so they quickly form the group and they start headed back out the way everyone just came off the field. So without missing a beat, boom, follow right in line behind them, camera in tow, walkie-talkie on, and just ready to go.
And so through all of this, no one at any point really said anything or even noticed that you were there.
No, I could have been a fly on the wall. I just was like, Matrix-like, had like Harry Potter's cloak on, just running up right behind him, and it just looked natural, right? So we go in. As we're coming out, the best part of the whole story was, and the coolest part for me was the Texas A&M band, boom, right on key, starts playing band music as we're walking out, so it feels like what it would to run onto a field, and you're just like, yeah, and you want to go wild, but you got to keep your composure and task at hand, right?
You're buying into the moment on a scale of 1 to 100. How much are you going, yeah, versus like, all right, I got to keep my cool, because you want to enjoy it. You're not there to go into a rock.
Don't get too high, don't get too low. Just keep it even keel. Because, once you get in, like, there's like 2 more minutes I have to do this to where I feel like I'm somewhat comfortable. You know what I mean? Where I can, like...
Before you're you're there.
Before I'm there.
People are like, all right, I saw that dude in the corner of my eye just taking pictures.
Like, one hesitation, like, looking around or something, boom, someone's going to ask you a question. Like, hey, what are you doing?
Exactly.
And so, walk in, they keep going. I peel into the back end zone and find my nice little nook back there behind 2 Alabama State troopers, who I then made friends with. Just chatting those guys up. So you always want to, like, chat the people up. Like, don't shy away from them either.
And what did you talk to them about?
Well, I didn't talk to them until right after the game had started. The pregame at an SEC game, and especially Auburn, the fanfare and pageantry that goes on is quite extensive. I mean, we're talking 35-40 minutes of just P-52 Mustang flyovers, to the whole marching band coming out there, to the PA announcer introducing, it was Veterans Day, right before Veterans Day, so they're announcing a lot of that stuff. And then, for 100 years now, Auburn has done their War Eagle, which is based on conservation of the golden eagle. So turns out they have 3. I did a little research because I wanted to figure out what this whole thing, Auburn releases this huge golden eagle, and it does a lap around the stadium, and after all that happens, about the first quarter, these birds are now on the sideline.
How far away from you?
Like, from me to you. Closer.
So like 2 feet.
Yeah, like 2 feet. And these are 8 to 10 pound golden eagles, like, full of just straight terror. And these things were acting a damn fool on the sideline. Like, their handler, I was like, is this guy, watching these things? Because, I mean, these things are, like, just doing loops and loops around his arm and just, like, wanting to attack Lassie, which was the Texas A&M mascot dog. And so I was just, like, joking with those state troopers. I'm like, hey, man, is he going to get a hold of this thing or what? Like, Jesus. It was pretty intense. I would say that was the most scared I got during the whole entire thing.
Because the eagle?
Because the eagles. I mean, one, I don't like birds that much either, let alone a huge predatory bird like a golden eagle.
With talons.
With huge talons. This thing is not domesticated like you would cut the claws off a house cat. No, sir.
So you can't blame Eagle for creating an Eagle Talon car. Pretty vicious. Remember those? They weren't as cool as the name Eagle Talon, were they?
Eagle Talon, yeah. The official vehicle of the Auburn Tigers.
All right, so any other highlights from the story?
Yeah.
And by the way, we could see you from where we were in Peanut Heaven on the field in the corner of the end zone.
So you saw, made that place my home. I was like, just the first row walls are very low, and you can't really, like, stand there because you want to just be conscious that you're not, like, standing in front of somebody. So made friends with almost the entire first row by the section I was in. Had girls wanting to take selfies and pictures and doing all types of fun stuff there. But what was I going to say? The coolest thing was Texas A&M scored right away, and they ran right at me. And unfortunately, I wasn't ready for that. They scored, like, immediately, and they, like, ran right over, and I was like, I think I was already changing out one of the battery packs as that happened. So they struck very quickly. It was cool. They, like, celebrated right over there by me. Auburn's field is one of the nicest fields I've ever been on. I've been on several, and it is pristine field. As well as their campus, you saw, it was like cookie cutter, like straight out of a magazine type campus.
So, how did you get to us in Peanut Heaven once you decided you no longer wanted to be kicking it on the field?
I walked right up through where the band was. Yeah, just walked straight up. And then somehow I ended up on a suite level where it was like Auburn boosters and they had like buffets. So I stopped, ate a buffet, ate 2 tacos and some nachos, and
How would you rate them, quality-wise?
5.5.
All right.
Very low quality. But yeah, I mean it was an awesome experience. Jordan Hare Stadium was pretty dope, and you know didn't get in any trouble. Wasn't there to cause any trouble or bother nobody,
And no one even noticed.
and no one even noticed.
All right, who we shouting out to this? Who's getting shout-outs?
My man, the security guard who didn't bust me, he gets a shout out. My girl Mary, who drove me into the stadium, she gets a shout out.
Our friends at Red Hook,
Our friends at Red Hook,
the Red Hook road trip.
the game Flag It Tag It.
And you, by the way, got flagged because you left our 6'4" bearded brown friend Neil at the security gate
Yes.
before you went to go do all this.
It wouldn't have been possible with him. So Nate Dogg, I apologize. You should have been there, but you didn't have neutral colors on. You had a Bo Jackson Royals jersey on, and I felt like that would draw a little too much attention to us. Plus, yeah, it was a solo mission. I just wanted to see if you can make your own solo mission, so I should have flagged him. Then had a lot of fun there, but halftime we ended up leaving the game and going to our favorite bar in the world, Sky Bar.
Boom.
So shout out Sky Bar, Auburn, Texas A&M, y'all did it, and yeah, Bacon Sports. That's what's up. Keep it sizzling.